Hi everyone, and welcome to the first weapon employment tutorial in this series. I thought I'd start with everyone's favourite A10 weapon, and that is the main gun. For all of the weapon employment tutorials, I'll be using the same map. It's a really good practice map. I'll put a link down in the description. This gives you suitable targets right ahead so you can get right into using whatever weapon you're curious about. I've spawned here in the Brute position, which is for using our big gun. Right ahead of us there, can just see a few dots. Those are the enemy vehicles. Now, whenever I'm starting these, I will start by actively pausing. So right now I'm in active pause mode. You can check what that is in your control bindings. Very useful when setting up your weapons to do that so you're not rushing to do anything. So to employ the gun on the A10-CII, we need two main things turned on. Down here we've got our master arm switch. We want that in the up position. And we've also got the gun pack switch. Again, you want that in the up position. You can also do it in the gun arm position, but the gun pack stabilizes the gun, which is really useful when lining up your shot. So selecting guns in the A10-CII is very straightforward. You just push the master mode select button. So we'll cycle through your various options and we'll see that gun appears in the HUD, normally quickly followed by CCIP invalid. And it's going to take us out of active pause and point us towards the ground so we can see the queue. So there we have the CCIP guns marker, this round widget, which helps us aim and fire the guns. At the centre we've got our most important marks. Those are those two little dots. Those are the CCIP solutions. I have two dots because I'm running combat mix. So I've got a mixture of armor piercing and HE rounds. Because of different densities and profiles, those rounds have slightly different trajectories and so land at slightly different locations. Really, that's not too big of an issue because what you want to do is be shooting at relatively short range, and the accuracy of these guns is not all that much. So generally the two overlap at the ranges you're going to be shooting at. We've also then got a ring around the outside and an unwinding carrot. And that indicates the slant range to the target. So the distance, if you took a ruler from the front of your plane directly to the target. And that's displayed in thousands of feet. So if that is all the way to the top, it tells you you're at 12,000 or over 12,000, and then the 9, 6 and 3 o'clock positions indicate 9,000, 6,000 and 3,000 feet to target respectively. We've also got a marker on the bottom, which unless I'm mistaken is the slant range in nautical miles. Flying the A10 for a guns pass is quite straightforward. You want to enter a shallow dive, place the pipper on the target. If you do have a two-stage trigger, you can hold down the first stage, in which case the A10 will ground stabilize. If you don't worry, just go straight to the second stage. When you go to the second stage, it will immediately fire. It's not like the F5 with its two-stage trigger that you will have a slight delay on firing. This fires immediately upon depression of the second stage. In terms of how long to hold it down for, it does depend on the target. If you're going against anything light, such as trucks, you just want to tap as little as you possibly can. You're firing 30mm HE rounds, they're going to rip anything light to pieces. If you're going for infantry, I tend to do a ever so slightly longer burst, maybe holding it down for say a fifth of a second, a quarter of a second, just because it's not overly accurate and you want to make sure you do get some hits on target. If you're going against armoured vehicles, you do want to hold down a little bit longer. What I'd suggest is turning on battle damage assessment, and then you can see the percentage damage that you've done to your target. That way you can get used to it. So anyway, let's go in for a guns pass and I'll talk you through what I'm doing. So active pause is off. Heading into the target, we can see some is stationary up ahead, some are moving. If you aim too far away, it will go to CCIP invalid. We've got some fixed targets here, and I'm going to go in on these center ones. So I want to put Pipper over the target, watch the range carrot unwind. Generally within 6,000 feet, I'll put the target between two Pippers and give it a little burst. You can absolutely move on to another target. Once you've completed your run, go evasive. Here on this mission, the vast majority of targets don't shoot back, so you don't need to worry about that last step. But against real targets, you always want to go evasive, and always a good idea to check your 6. Now, when I say this gun isn't overly accurate, it will hit anything that you put the trigger over. The main caveat is it will also hit everything around it. If we go in for another pass here, and wait, you can see the area it's hitting there is really quite large.
Altitude.
And so it doesn't really matter that it's not massively accurate. You have a huge fire rate here, and you just wipe out anything in that little circle. Now, as you're firing, you do want to know how much ammo you've got left. You've got that on your HUD. CM tells me I'm loaded with combat mix. 950 is the amount of rounds I've got left. Equally, if I have the DS-MS page selected, at the bottom I've got the number of rounds and the type of ammunition loaded. Now, I do have other markers available. This is the default Pipper. It is certainly the one I would suggest that you use. It gives you the most information. I'll just put this into pause. We can select other displays as well. To do this, we make sure we have the HUD selected. So we've got that little asterisk there above the ammunition count. And then to change the reticule type when we've got the guns mode selected, we push the DMS switch right. That is data management switch right, or equally left. And that cycles through various different options. As I said, this is a default one. This is really the one that I always use. But if you press right once, here we have a simplified marker. It's gotten rid of the range carrot around the outside, gotten rid of the extra dot. This is just the CCIP marker for where it's going to land. Still got the range written on the bottom, so you still can get some idea. This could be useful if you want to really declutter your HUD. I find that the extra information is very, very much more valuable. We've then also got this one. This has a series of fixed points. This is really just a fixed site. Think of this like a World War II type site, just with fixed gun solution there. I guess this could be useful if there was a failure in the CCIP computer, but honestly I have never come across a situation where I need this. Generally, if the CCIP is broken, the HUD is also broken. Then lastly, we also have gun bore sight mode. So this is showing a pointer where the gun is pointing. Can be useful in air-to-air, but there is a separate air-to-air mode. Otherwise, the gun is very easy to use, and so I suggest that you just jump into this mission and you can have a lot of fun just going in on ground targets.
Pull up, pull up. Altitude, altitude.
Well, I hope you found that useful. If you have any questions, just leave them down below. Otherwise, I will catch you in the next video. Cheers!